is madness. No. For the love of God. No. No! Oh.
This is all true. 10 years ago, give or take a year, I found myself on an enforced stopover in Los Angeles, a long way from home. It was December, and the California weather was warm and pleasant. England, however, was in the grip of fogs and snowstorms, and no planes were landing there. Each day I'd phone the airport, and each day I'd be told to wait another day. This had gone on for almost a week. I was barely out of my teens. Looking around today at the parts of my life left over from those days, I feel uncomfortable, as if I've received a gift, unasked, from another person. A house, a wife, children, a vocation. Nothing to do with me, I could say, innocently. If it's true that every 7 years each cell in your body dies and is replaced, then I have truly inherited my life from the dead man. And the misdeeds of those times have been forgiven and are buried with his bones. I was in Los Angeles, yes. On the 6th day, I received a message from an old sort of girlfriend from Seattle. She was in L.A. too, and she had heard I was around on the Friends of Friends network. Would I come over?
Hi, this is Tink. You know what to do, and you know just how to do it.
Hi, Tink. It's me. I'd love to see you, yes. I left a message on her machine. Sure. That evening, a small blonde woman approached me as I came out of the place I was staying. It was already dark. She stared at me as if she were trying to match me to a description, and then, hesitantly, she said,
Are you Tink's friend? Guy she met in England?
That'd be me, yes.
I'm her roommate. Car's out back. Come on. She's really looking forward to seeing you.
Her car was one of those huge old boat-like jobs you only ever seem to see in California. It smelled of cracked and flaking leather upholstery. We drove out from wherever we were to wherever we were going.
So how'd you meet Tink?
Bit of a cliché. We met in a pub, actually.
Yeah, I knew that already. She told me. I said you're crazy. You don't know anything about him. She said, Dorothy, he's English. I said, no offense, hon, Jack the Ripper was English.
Thanks. How far away is her house? I'm afraid I'm lost already.
Oh, it's a big city.
Well, yes, but so is London or Paris or New York, and I never seem to get lost in them. I suppose it's because you can walk around them or catch a subway, but L.A. doesn't seem to work without a car.
Well, they're building a subway. I don't know who's going to take it.
Los Angeles was at that time a complete mystery to me, and I cannot say I understand it much better now. Memories of L.A., for me, are linked by rides in other people's cars. No sense there of the shape of the city, of the relationships between the people and the place. The regularity of the roads, the repetition of structure and form, mean that when I try to remember it as an entity, all I have is the boundless profusion of tiny lights I saw one night on my first trip to the city from the hill of Griffith Park. It was one of the most beautiful things I had ever seen from that distance.
Hey, Jack the Ripper. You see that building?
That red one?
Art Deco, built in the 30s. Hard to believe it's still here today, huh?
1930s, gosh.
Wish I'd been around back then.
You've never been to England, have you?
No, why?
No reason. I said something polite, trying to comprehend a city inside which 50 years could be considered a long time.
Oh, now that one there, that's one of my favorites. It's the original Brown Derby building.
It's shaped like a hat. How far to Tink's place from here?
No more than 15 minutes. Tink's real excited. When she heard you were in town, she was so excited.
I'm looking forward to seeing her again, too. Tink's real name was Tinkerbell Richmond. No lie. She was staying with friends in a small apartment clump somewhere about a half an hour's drive from downtown L.A. She was 10 years older than me, in her early 30s. She had glossy black hair and red, puzzled lips and very white skin, like Snow White in the fairy stories. The first time I met her, I thought she was the most beautiful woman in the world. Tink had been married for a while at some point in her life and had a 5-year-old daughter called Susan. I had never met Susan. When Tink had been in England, Susan had been staying on in Seattle with her father. People named Tinkerbell named their daughters Susan. Memory is the great deceiver. Perhaps there are some individuals whose memories act like tape recordings, daily records of their lives, complete in every detail, but I am not one of them. My memory is a patchwork of occurrences, of discontinuous events roughly sewn together. The parts I remember precisely, whilst other sections seem to have vanished completely. I do not remember arriving at Tink's house, nor where her flatmate went. What I remember next is sitting in Tink's lounge with the lights low, the two of us next to each other, on the sofa.
You look wonderful.
Well, so do you. You look amazing.
Jesus, how long has it been? Oh, never mind that. Let me look at you.
We made small talk.
Your hair's still the same.
It had been perhaps a year since we had seen one another. But a 22-year-old boy has little to say to a 32-year-old woman, and soon, having nothing in common, I pulled her to me. She snuggled close with a kind of sigh and presented her lips to be kissed. In the half-light, her lips were black. We kissed for a little, and I stroked her breast through her blouse on the couch.
Honey, we can't have sex. I've got my period.
Fine.
I can give you a blowjob if you'd like.
I nodded assent, and she unzipped my jeans and lowered her head to my lap. After I had come, she got up and ran into the kitchen. I heard her spitting into the sink and the sound of running water. I remember wondering why she did it, if she hated the taste that much. Then she returned, and we sat next to each other on the couch.
Susan's upstairs asleep. She's all I live for. Would you like to see her?
I don't mind. We went upstairs. Tink led me into a darkened bedroom. There were child-scroll pictures all over the walls, wax crayon drawings of winged fairies and little palaces, and a small fair-haired girl was asleep in the bed. I love the drawings. Did she do them?
Yes, she did. My little angel. She loves drawing. Isn't she beautiful? She takes after her father.
We went downstairs. We had nothing else to say, nothing else to do. Tink turned on the main light. For the first time I noticed tiny crow's feet at the corners of her eyes, incongruous on her perfect Barbie doll face.
I love you. I really, really love you.
Thank you.
Would you like a ride back?
If you don't mind leaving Susan alone. She shrugged, and I pulled her to me for the last time. At night, Los Angeles is all lights and shadows. A blank here in my mind. I simply don't remember what happened next. She must have driven me back to the place where I was staying. How else would I have gotten there? I do not even remember kissing her goodbye. Perhaps I simply waited on the sidewalk and watched her drive away. Perhaps. I do know, however, that once I reached the place I was staying, I just stood there, unable to go inside, to wash, and then to sleep, unwilling to do anything else.